Hello everyone, hope you're all doing great. So I am Saranya and in this video we are going to learn about the group by plus having combination, how it works and all of that. So I'll be giving a lot of examples so that you can practice and learn quickly. Okay, so let me share my screen. Alright, so if you see my screen here, I'm using the same database and the tables that I have used in the previous videos as well. So the link to this table creation has been provided in the description box in the Google Docs file. Okay, so you click on that link, copy paste the code and run, then you will create all of these tables and the database. So first I'm trying to use the author database. Okay, inside the author database, you have a table called myEMP. So select star from my EMP table. All right. So if I run this, this is the table and these are the rows that I have. Okay. So employee ID, first name, last name, email, hire date, job ID, salary, commission percentage, manager ID, department ID. So this is the table called my EMP and these are all the columns that we have. So now we are learning how to write having. Okay, so first of all, what is having? Why do we use it? All of that I'm going to tell in this example. All right, so let's say if you want to see for each manager, okay, how many employees are reporting, then what you will do, select manager underscore ID, then you will do a count of employee underscore ID as EMP underscore count from my EMP table. Okay, since you are taking an aggregate function here, you have to include this particular column in the group by clause. So just put group by manager underscore ID column. Okay, so now if I run, what will happen? So for each manager, how many employees are reporting? That result you will get. So now I wanted to see the employees who have more than 5 people reporting to them, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. In that case, what you will do, you cannot put a where clause. Okay, so usually previously what we did, we used to write where count of mgr underscore id greater than 5. Okay, so these type of things will not work. Okay, so where is used to filter on the rows. So let me show you one example. Okay, so if I do select star from my EMP and there I will write where salary greater than 10,000. Now you can see here, first this where clause will check for the column salary. It will go to this column and in this column, wherever the salary is greater than 10,000, like 10,500, 11,000, all of these records it will give. Okay, which means that this particular where clause goes to the column that you have mentioned, which is a salary column. In that salary column, it will check row by row and filter all of the rows. But now what I am telling, after grouping, so manager ID column is there, you have a count of employee ID. Okay, so let me run this one again. Okay, so this is already grouped data. Now I want you to tell me the employees who have more than 5 reportees. Okay, so after the data is grouped, you cannot use a where clause. Okay, so that is the reason why we have something called as the having. So you will write having count of employee underscore ID greater than 5. Okay, so after group by, you have to use the having clause. Okay, so let us run this. Now you will see wherever the manager who has more than 5 employees reporting, that will be coming as your output. So in interviews, this is one definitely asked question. What is the difference between where and having? Okay, so please note the difference between where and having is that where is used to check for that column and in the column record by record it will go and check. Okay, so but the having will try to filter after it is grouped. Okay, where is used to filter on the individual record level, having is used to filter after it is grouped. Okay, once you group everything based on this manager ID column, if you want to filter now, then you will use the having clause. Okay, so that is the difference between where and having. And where is written before group by, having is written after group by. Okay, that is also one thing you can mention. And one more thing is that, can you write having clause without group by? Okay, can you write having without group by? Okay, so let's check this. Let's say I'm not grouping based on the manager ID. So now if I run, it will say that in aggregate query without group by, which means there is no group by present. So I have to write group by if I want a having clause, because if you're not even grouping, how will I filter based on that? Right? So that is the one reason. And one more question is the reverse. Can you write group by without having? Then yes, you can write without having, you can write a group by. So if you run this, this will work. Alright, so having is used to filter the records after it is grouped, which means it will filter on the group wise. Okay, so this is how the output will look like. Okay, so let us take some more examples. Like if suppose they ask you, can you tell me how many employees are inside each job ID? Okay, so job ID wise employee count if they ask you, then what you will do? Select job underscore ID, comma, count of EMP underscore ID from my EMP table. Okay, so if you run this, then it will tell that you have to write a group by clause because you're doing a count of EMP ID. This is an aggregate function. So then you will write group by job underscore ID. Okay, so now if you run this, what will happen? You will get the job ID wise employee count. If you want the job IDs wherever you have more than 3 employees, then after group by having count of job underscore ID greater than 3. Alright, so if you run this, what will happen? You will get all the job IDs wherever the count is greater than 3. Okay, so this is how you will use it. And then, okay, so one more question that is commonly asked is, what if I don't have an aggregate function here? Can I still use having clause? That also we will see. Just copy paste the same code here and here remove the count of EMP underscore ID. Okay, so now you just have the job ID from my EMP, then you have the group by, then you have the having clause. Let us run this, but you still can get the details. Okay, so if you have this column extra count of EMP underscore ID, what will happen? You will get the count sidewise. Okay, by the side you will get the count. Okay, but if you don't have that also, this query will run perfectly fine. You're just taking the job ID, you're grouping it and then taking the having clause. So having this column in the select or not having this column in the select will not impact the output. Okay, so this is one thing that you have to always remember. Okay, so let's take one more example where questions are asked like this. Wherever the department salary is, department's average salary is greater than 1000. Okay, it's departments where average salary is greater than 1000. Okay, so these type of questions, how do you handle? Just write select department underscore ID column, average salary, okay, from my EMP table. Then you have to group by the department underscore ID. And now having average of salary should be greater than 1000. So first, based on the department ID, it will try to group and then find out the average salary, and then wherever the average salary is greater than 1000, those records we will get. So if we run this, so now you will see the departments wherever the average salary is greater than 1000. Okay, so let me show you one interview question, how it looks like. Okay, so this is a question. Let's read this. So display the top 3 departments that have more than 5 employees and whose average salary is greater than 8,000. Okay, so seeing the question itself, it looks very huge and all, right? So let us figure that out, how to do this. So display the top 3 departments, okay, that have more than 5 employees. So first, more than 5 employees means the count of employees should be greater than 5. And whose average salary is greater than 8,000, and also average salary should be greater than 8,000. So just pause this video and try it for yourself and then come back for the solution. Okay, so now for the code, select, you are asking top 3 departments, which means department underscore ID is the column that I will use. Department underscore ID that have more than 5 employees and whose average salary is greater than 8,000. So just for our reference, I'll put count of EMP underscore ID and also average of salary. Okay, from my EMP table, and obviously we have to put this in the group by clause. group by department ID. So now comes the having clause. Inside the having, what we should do? We have to find out the departments that have more than 5 employees. We having count of EMP underscore ID greater than 5, and also average salary is greater than 8,000. So average of salary should be greater than 8,000. Okay, so now let us run this. Okay, so these are the departments where we have count of employees is greater than 5 and the average salary greater than 8,000. Since they are asking top 3 departments, I have to give a limit. So limit 3. Okay, so now if you run this, the same output would come. Okay, so this is how the questions would be asked. Okay, so that's it for this video, and in the next video I'll try to explain how do we combine all of these that we have learned, because we have learned different parts, right? So limit in one part, where in one part, having, group by. So in different parts we have learned how each of it works. So the next video we'll try to combine all of that what we have learned, and we'll try to solve some interview questions as well. Okay, so please stay tuned and subscribe so that we can solve more problems together. Thanks for watching. Bye.